Y'all ready? Yeah! Good afternoon, everybody! What's up? What's up? Oh boy, oh boy. What's up, Mia Moore? Sexy Sixty, what up? Milton Scott, what up? My boy Darius, what up? Wow, 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 wow. They are really trying to put the hammer to your boy Diddy. Make sure y'all smash that like button, please. Hit the like button, support the channel by just simply smashing the like button. So you knew it was coming down sooner or later because Diddy's, um, you know, Diddy's people were putting the pressure right on uh on the judge, just putting the pressure on him and basically saying, where is the evidence? Where is the evidence? So today, a superseding indictment came down. What does it say? Still weak. Diddy will beat this case. Well, what's up, Mia Moore? If that's what you want to say, I hope you are right. I hope you're right. But because of like I told people, because of what we saw now with this new documentary, and I told y'all they're trying to R. Kelly Diddy. Remember how they just couldn't seem to get R. Kelly before? But then here come all these superseding indictments, right? All these superseding indictments, and all of a sudden, um, R. Kelly started being taken down. So now they add on, mainly as I'm reading it, mainly what it is just more of Cassie's lawsuit. But we do have another two more victims, I believe. One is Kid Cudi. I think that's right as a victim about the arson. I believe that's Kid Cudi. And there might be the other girl. There might be another girl there, and that might be Gina Hung or Gina Yoon, whatever the case may be. Right? But this is not good. Definitely not good. Now this comes, of course, and when does it come? What did I tell y'all? What I tell you? When did I tell you it was gonna come? Right after all of these documentaries, all of these episodes from this documentary, Diddy, the the downfall of Diddy. Right. Soon as that documentary was made, all of a sudden, here comes this indictment. All of a sudden, here comes this indictment. And it's irritating, but there's not really much Diddy can do now except just go ahead with the proceedings, because once again they denied another motion. Every single motion that he tries to get, every single motion he tries to get, they deny. So what Diddy wanted was just simply see the freak offs. We want to see the freak off tapes, right? Simply see, we want to see the freak off tapes. And the judge said, no can do, right? So we're trying to find the indictment. I'm not going to go through all the indictment. There's an entire video. It's over. Diddy is done. There's an entire video. What video is there? There's no video. Just because he's got a video of this from this little girl. That's not, that video's been out there. They're talking about a little girl. That's nothing. Diddy is done. There's a video. It's over. No, this little girl here is friends of Diddy's friends. All right. So I want to try to find this indictment everybody's talking about. I mean, it's all over the internet. I'm trying to find a version that I can read through. I'm not trying to read through this whole thing, right? But we'll see. Let's look up here. Hold on. But they tacked on, whew, it's everywhere. Feds hit Diddy with new superseding sex trafficking indictments. So we're going to go through it. I'm going to go to TMZ and we're going to go over what TMZ says. And again, like I said, this is not good for Puff. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. I'm not going to act like, oh, no, it's not a big thing. I know Milton Scott has been on his free Diddy. I get him. I'm with him. But we're not going to act like two more female victims. So, two more female victims have been added. Two more female victims. So, I'm going to assume one is Gina, right? Can y'all see that? Yo, let me know if y'all can see that. Sean Diddy Combs is facing new allegations from federal prosecutors who've now added two new victims to the case and accused him of a much longer reign of terror. The new filing, known as a superseding indictment, adds victim 2 and victim 3. Adds victim 2 and victim 3, both of whom are women. So there's no little boys, there's no little girls. Both of who are women. Previously, the feds had only listed victim 1, who was clearly Diddy's ex Cassie, based on Diddy's own attorneys connecting her to the infamous hallway beating video. This is when they had him detained that day. According to the new docs, Diddy allegedly transported all three women to engage in prostitution, which is one of the charges he was already facing from the original indictment. So it's probably Daphne Joy. It might be Daphne Joy, guys, 50 Cent's baby mama. That might be one of them, and I don't think the other one's Young Miami. I don't think the other one's Young Miami. I think Daphne Joy is one of them because I remember there was word that Daphne Joy flipped. Let's go. Let's read it a little more, and then we're gonna ask: do we know who these? Do you think we know who these people are? Gina Young would have been. Hugh would have been another one. Daphne Joy. Also, remember he was. What's the girl's name that was on? That used to be a member of Taz Angels, and she's got a sister. Could have been her, but I doubt Young Miami's one of them. Let's see. While they don't describe the exact nature of Diddy's relationship with the women, the feds say he provided the victims with, among other things, monetary payments, career opportunities, and payment of rent and housing expenses. I think that's definitely Daphne Joy. The feds have also added a new detail to the racketeering conspiracy charge as they now allege Diddy ran that criminal enterprise from 2004 to 2024. In the previous indictment, they claim it started in 2008. Now they've expanded to 2004. Diddy's attorney, Mark Agnifilio, says the latest indictment contains no new offenses. The prosecution's theory remains flawed. The government has added the ridiculous theory that two of Mr. Cohn's former girlfriends were not girlfriends at all, but were prostitutes. Mr. Combs is as committed as ever to fighting these charges and winning at trial. That federal trial is currently set to start May 5th, so Diddy's day in court isn't all that far off. So if it's two ex-girlfriends, Daphne Joy, definitely believe is one. Could Young Miami be the other one? Wow. We know Cassie's one. I just can't see Young Miami flipping. I believe it's this other girl, this other chick, Ashley. That's who I believe it is. Or the Gina. If it's not the Ashley girl, it's definitely Daphne Joy, who I believe flipped. I believe Daphne Joy because she was scared that these things may come back to affect her son. I believe Daphne Joy flipped. And I believe the other girl is this chick Ashley who was just who just sued him the other day and said, "Oh, she was his ex-girlfriend." Okay, good. I'm glad. I'm glad it's not Young Man. I can't see Carisha being that type of girl anyway. Carisha Still got feelings for Puff, so I could not see her flipping. I'm glad it's not. I believe that it is Daphne Joy and this Ashley chick or the chick Gina. All right, let's finish reading. Okay. They didn't give a lot there. So we're gonna come out of this. I wanna see stuff, right? Feds add two more victims. Here's the mirror. I had constant anxiety. Text, hold on. So let's see. Video. Judge makes decision on pre-go tapes. Feds add two more. So let's go here. And after that one, I'm going to go to a video of somebody reading it. All right. Feds add two more victims to Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking case with new indictment. There are no new charges in the superseding indictment as in U.S. Attorney's Office filed today against Sean Diddy Combs. However, two new victims have been added to the case. So there's no new charges, but two new victims have been added to the case. The government respectfully submits this letter regarding the S1 indictment returned today in above referenced case by a grand jury sitting in this district. S1 reads a letter from U.S. Attorney Danielle R. Sassoon that was submitted Thursday along with new indictment. So let's see exactly what was said. Puffy, puffy, puffy. I'm still pulling for you because I still believe that a lot of this stuff is just Puffy being freaky. You know what I mean? I think he's getting a raw deal on a lot of this shit. But with every day passing, like I said, it's starting to look more and more like R. Kelly. It really is. It's starting to look more and more like R. Kelly. So let's see. So here's the letter. All right. Honorable Aaron Submarinian or whatever. Dear Judge Submarinian, the government respectfully submits this letter regarding the S1 indictment returned today in the above referenced case by a grand jury sitting in district. The S1 indictment, as set forth below, S1 indictment contains no new charge offenses but includes additional allegations. So this telling you right there, and Milton, to what Milton said, there must not be any more charges, at least not right now. Fourth, the S1 indictment contains no new charge offensive, but includes additional allegations in count one, the charge racketeering conspiracy, and the specified certain victims relevant to counts one and three. The government has already produced the vast majority of the discovery, so they're pretty much finished associated with the S1 indictment and does not expect the S1 indictment to affect existing pre-trial deadline. Okay? So it says, in addition, allegations included an additional segment, additional speaking allegations regarding racketeering activity, extension of the racketeering conspiracy from in or about 2004 through in or about 2024. So they're trying to say that he was still doing it even after getting raided or whatever. Additional allegations related to the means and methods of the racketeering enterprise related to sex trafficking, including the trafficking of three specified female victims: victim one, victim two, and victim three, and a certain act of violence. Additional racketeering activity involving kidnapping, chargeable under New York penal law, additional narcotics and controlled substances, specifically psilocybin and methamphetamine, included in the racketeering activity revolving possession with intent to distribute and distribution of narcotics and controlled substances in the violation of. So they're saying he was trying to distribute drugs. Modification of the to wit clause in count three to victim one, victim two, and victim three. The S1 indictment does not add any new counts or contain any substantiated changes or those outlined above. So basically what Milton was saying, probably Gina, Diva, you think? Probably Gina and Daphne. But there is a girl that came out last week that said she's Diddy's ex-girlfriend, and she was suing him. So it also could be her, because Gina, I don't know if Gina was around. I don't know if Gina she never told Tasha K that she was made to have sex with other people, right? Now, she could have been, but just didn't tell anybody, right? But let's finish out this letter, guys. The discovery pretrial. The government has already produced to the defense nearly all Rule 16 discovery related to the new allegations contained in the S1 indictment. This discovery included production of search warrant affidavits, the defendant's own electronic devices and accounts, identified data from devices and accounts belonging to third parties, and subpoenas returned, among other material. In addition to the discovery already produced, the government is preparing a limited discovery production relevant to counts 1 and 3 of the S1 indictment, specifically by approximately February 14, 2025. The government expects to produce additional identified data from a third party cloud account. So this is going to be like something that was found on the iCloud, from which the defendant has already received identified data. The government anticipates that the additional identified data from account one will be limited to media files, i.e., videos and photographs from an approximately 1 year period. The government will continue to promptly produce on a rolling basis any additional discovery material is obtained. Now, the government does not expect the S1 indictment to affect the scheduling order entered by the court on January 8, 2025. Arraignment and a Speedy Trial Act. The government respectively suggests that the court arraign the defendant on the S1 indictment at the next scheduled court conference. So they're going to have to, they would have to indict him, arraign him again on the new charges. As the government has previously indicated, its investigation remains active and ongoing. The government will endeavor to return any further superseding indictment as promptly as possible, mindful of the May 5th trial date. Additionally, and regardless of whether the government seeks to charge any additional offenses, to the extent The government obtains additional evidence that it may seek. There's not going to be none. Y'all ain't got nothing else. It will disclose such evidence to the defense as Rule 16 or Jenks Act material. The government further remains cognizant of its ongoing Brady obligations and will promptly disclose any exploratory evidence in its possessions. Now, at December 8, 2024 status conference, the court set a control date of March 17, 2025, and excluded time under the Speedy Trial Act until the date. Under the second, okay, blah, 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 we don't care about that. So, so let's go back to this. Look, what it looks like to me is just, it looks like they're trying to just put some added extra mustard on the hot dog, but um it's really just extra fluff, right? So while the new redacted filing by the feds reads pretty much the same as what was submitted to the courts after Combs was arrested in September, the redacted filing, the prostitution charges against the rapper now include two other women. In addition to victim 2 and victim 3, the U.S. Attorney Office has extended the term of the racketeering charges from previously started in 2000 to 2004. So it must be an old ex-girlfriend. So it probably is that girl who spoke out before. Because if it started in 2004, that once again so everybody is saying J Lo, it's not J Lo because he was not with J Lo in 2004. So I believe the drug mule. I believe that it is the girl who was in who had spoke out and was saying, "Oh, I'm his ex girlfriend." That seems around the 2004 ish because Kim Porter passed away, and Sarah Chapman, he definitely was not having his baby mama. He definitely wasn't having none of his baby mamas. Um, you know, sex trafficking, because he was trying to hide it from his baby mamas. So throw out Misa, throw out Sarah Chapman. It's not going to be them. 2004 is probably, I don't know if Gina was around 2004. I think she came after Cassie. So I'm going to assume that it's probably this girl who they brought up the other day. She seems like she was a girl he was dating back in the day. Some girl named Ashley or something like that. That's what it seems like. You know? And that's why I believe they stretched it to 2004. Um, it's not just NYC case Diddy's fighting. Yeah, but the indictment is the NYC indictment, right? They're talk. I know they bring up stuff about the Miami house and stuff, but the main thing here is Cassie is victim 1. Victim 2, I'm gonna say, is the girl Ashley, and I think victim 3 is Daphne Joy, who I believe has flipped on Diddy because the whole 50 Cent thing, if you notice, 50 Cent got quiet about Daphne. Daphne got quiet about 50 Cent. And I believe that he was like, remember before you talk about he was going to take the son from her. Now, he hasn't said that. So I believe that she agreed to 50 to help his little ego She probably told him, "Okay, I'll flip on Diddy, but please don't try to take my son." So he probably got her to turn on Puffy because 50 Cent is still jealous that Puffy was banging his baby mama out. And when he gave her the opportunity way before this incident to pick him or Puffy, she said he treats me better, so I'm going to stay with him. He treats me better than you. And if for everybody, don't forget that have not remembered, go look up, Daphne Joy's accusations about 50 Cent. And it don't really sound too much different from Diddy and Cassie, but I digress. Um, so with the new indictment, blah blah blah. The latest indictment contains no new offenses. This is what Mark Agnifilio is saying. The prosecution's theory remains flawed. The government has added this ridiculous theory that two of Mr. Cohn's former girlfriends were not girlfriends at all, but were prostitutes. Mr. Combs is as committed as ever to fighting this charges. Victim one has long been identified as Cassie Ventura, and despite an estimated $30 million payoff to legal action of Ventura's own and accusation of rape, abuse, and more in November last year over the 2007 to 2018 relationship, the defense has tried repeatedly to characterize her as an active and willing participant in Combs' escapades. As recently as January 14th, Agnifilio and co-counsel Tony Georges claimed that 9 videos and evidence are proof that their client never did force victim one to have kinky freak-out sex with him and others against her will, but that the uptight feds seek to police non-conforming sexual activity. Today's super indictment was foreshadowed by prosecutors in a December hearing before Judge Aaron Submaranian. Arrested by the NYPD on September 16th in a Big Apple hotel lobby, Combs is charged with racketeering, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Already behind bars and repeatedly denied bail, the heavily lawyered up Combs trial is set to start May 5th. If found guilty, he is looking at life in prison. Also, sometimes known as Puff Daddy, Puffy, P. Diddy, the 55-year-old three-time Grammy winner who has 10 top 10 solo singles, including 3 number ones. Also fighting dozens of other sexual assault cases in federal and state court. Ain't nobody got time to be worried about that. Ain't nobody got time to be worried about that. They gonna have to wait, including one with Jay-Z as co-defendant. Among the 40 or so individuals, female and male, that say Combs raped and abused them, there are several minors, including a 10-year-old boy. I'm sorry, that stuff is not gonna fly. They're not winning those cases. They don't have no damn proof at all that a 10-year they have no proof at all. So that's pretty much it. They're still not really saying. I mean, I'm sure the indictment will have, but that indictment, I was hearing somebody go over it before. They also mentioned in the indictment, you know, the person we believe is Kid Cudi. Also mentioned the girl who Cassie's friend who Diddy allegedly dangled outside a balcony, right? Let's see. So, look, do I think this is not good? Yeah, I don't think this is good. Do I think, oh, that's it, right? Here's the superseding indictment, guys. Here's the superseding indictment. I'm gonna let you guys see it. Whew. It's gotta suck, like, to think that when you were doing all these things in the 90s and early 2000s, and it seems like, it kind of sucks to the times that we live in, because I'm sure at that time he probably thought, and it's never gonna come back to bite me because these are my girls and these are my girlfriends, and we just doing freaky sex. And if I want to pay for escorts, I should be able to pay for escorts. But now that's called sex trafficking, right? Now that's called sex trafficking. So, superseding indictment. For decades, Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka P. Diddy, aka Diddy, Love, blah, 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 blah. The defendant abused, threatened, and coaxed women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. To do so, Combs relied on the employees, resources, and influence of multifaceted business empire that he had controlled, created a criminal enterprise whose members and associates attempted to engage in, among other crimes, sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka Love, aka blah 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 blah. Love, the defendant, operated his business headquarters at various times in Manhattan and Los Angeles under a very of United States based corporate entities, including Bad Boys, so they didn't say Miami, Entertainment Combs Enterprises, and Combs Global. Collectively, the Combs business corporate entities in Combs Business included, among other things, we're going to go all that. Excuse me. At all times relevant to this indictment, Sean Combs, the defendant, engaged in persistent and persuasive pattern of abuse towards women and other individuals. This abuse was at times verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual. As part of his pattern of abuse, Combs manipulated women to participate in orchestrated performances of sexual activity with Combs, and at times with Combs and male commercial sex workers. That's Cassie. At times, Combs and other acting at his direction made arrangements for women and commercial sex workers. That's where the co-conspirators are going to come in next week or the week after, to fly location. Combs ensured participation from women by, among other things, obtaining and distributing narcotics, to them controlling their careers. That's Cassie. Leveraging his financial support and threatening to cut off the same. That's Daphne and Cassie. And using intimidation and violence. That's definitely Cassie. I do not know him to hit Daphne. Physical abuse by Combs, aka Puffy. The defendant was recurrent and widely known on numerous occasions from at least in or about 2009 and continuing for years. Combs assaulted women by, among other things, striking, punching, dragging, throwing objects at is that vase that they talk about in the hotel, and kicking them. That's Cassie as well, and Gina if she's in the indictment. Violence was also not limited to these women. It extended to his employees, witnesses to his abuse, and others. On one occasion, in Los Angeles hotel on about March 16, which was captured on video and lay okay, we know about that. You know they're gonna talk about that. So before we go further, guys, how are you feeling about this? Couture says doesn't sound strong. Milton saying free Diddy. Where's the hard hitting stuff? Couture, I said it sounded like fluff as well. They like the same chips. Um, So we're gonna move on. So far, Couture and Milton thinks that it sounds very, not that strong. I thought there's a lot of fluff too. But so he says here, subsequently, Combs, with the assistance of several associates, paid a hotel security staff $100,000 for the hotel surveillance footage on the assault. Now, if he paid him $100,000 for that footage, so he went and spent that money, and they still turned over a copy, they still kept a copy and turned it over to the feds. That's nasty work. Unless Cassie's nasty self did it. I don't know what Cassie would still be doing with it, but that was probably turned over by the hotel. Sean Combs, the defendant, used the Combs business, including certain employees, to carry out, facilitate, and cover backs. That's Christina Coram. Those employees, including security staff, household staff, personal assistant, and high-ranking security. So they're gonna go back and talk to his. I'm sure they're gonna talk to his chefs. I'm sure whoever worked in the house. They don't probably flipped on him because I heard he had did a couple of them wrong and threw them out and stuff like that. Cursed them out, threw some of them out. And other close associates acted as Combs' intermediaries, and their conduct was facilitated and assisted by Combs' control of the Combs business. So that's Harve Pierre. That's going to be Harve Pierre. It's going to be anybody in security, right? From at least the Combs Enterprise. So from at least or about 2004, throw in or about 2024, Sean Combs, the defendant, and others known and unknown were members and associates of a criminal organization, known and unknown, the Combs Enterprise or the Enterprise. Members and associates of the Combs Enterprise engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other activities, sex trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation for purposes of prostitution, coercion, and enticement to engage in prostitution, narcotics offenses, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Now, again, they're saying now 2004. So we're going to have to go back to see who, other than Kim Porter, was he so called dating in 2004. I don't know if the Gina girl was around then, but from my guessing, we know it wasn't Young Miami. We know it wasn't none of his baby mamas. So if I'm going to be guessing, I want to look up this Allison chick or this Ashley chick and find out when exactly she's putting down that she met Puffy. Because if she's early in the game, somebody look that up for me, please. Somebody look up this chick that just recently came out and said she was his ex girlfriend. Someone please look that up for me and see if you can find out what years she said she was involved with Diddy. 20 years ago. Is that what the girl said, Sexy 60? Because if it's 20 years ago, then this is the girl. She's definitely one of the victims. If it's 20 years ago is 2004. This proves that they do not have a strong case. Where are these people he had influenced to run a RICO? 2004. Okay, thank you. So then Couture is funny. Couture and Milton's on the same page. Diddy was still with Kim Porter only, and he was with Naomi and other actors. No, but he had like Milton. He had like little side girlfriends. He definitely had that because when I was around him, he's always had little side girlfriends. Like probably girls that he used specifically for this stuff. Couture don't want to hear it. Couture, this is big news. All right, let me just finish. They might get to some good stuff. All right? So just hold on, Bay. Okay. The Combs Enterprise constituted on ongoing organizations whose members function as continuing unit for the common purpose of achieving the objectives of Combs Enterprise. The Combs Enterprise was engaged in activities affected interstate and foreign commerce. The Combs Enterprises operated in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere. At all times relevant to this indictment, Sean Combs, the defendant, was the leader of the Combs Enterprise. So they're right there, folks. There ain't nobody to snitch on. So y'all can get that out your head. Oh, he's gonna flip on other people. I told y'all there is no one else to flip on. Puffy was at the top. So y'all can forget talking about there's other people and there's no, it isn't. No, it is not. This was Diddy's little love thing or whatever. Like he didn't think it was. I'm sure he did not consider it. He considered this as his personal life, as his personal sex life. I'm sure he did not consider this ever to be criminal, right? But he probably never thought that we'd be living in the type of times we're living in right now. It says, was the leader of the enterprise. The defendant and other known as unknown participated in unlawful and other activities related to the conduct of the Combs enterprise affairs. These individuals include certain Combs business employees, such as members of Combs security staff. Roger Barnes, was Gene there in 2004? I know Paul was. I don't know, Big Gene. 2004, bud. I don't know. He may have been gone by then. These are okay. Security staff, household staff, personal assistants. Christina Coram. I don't know when Capricorn Clark was his assistant, and highly ranking supervisors, Howard Pierre, as well as other close associates of Combs. Now that could include CBJ, Aaron Hall, right? People always say, "Oh, how come you don't think Jay Z is capable of it?" I don't put anything. But let me state my whole take on Jay Z. Yeah, Sarah Chapman's his baby mother. Like Sarah Chapman, he's not gonna get his baby mamas involved in it because he was trying to hide it from them. So his baby mamas, he's never going to have involved in prostitution. So Sarah Chapman is who he got pregnant. D Rock is and was still Diddy's head. Yeah, so D Rock could probably be involved. Um, yes, Sarah Chapman did date Tupac, but she dated Tupac before she was Puffy's baby mama. So she dated Puffy later on, and Sarah Chapman's the one that pretty much put the nail in the coffin as far as Kim Porter goes, because she was a friend of Kim Porter's, and Kim Porter thought that her and Puffy was gonna make it work, and then he popped up with Chance, and Chance is almost the same age as the twins. So when he went and got Kim Porter pregnant, I think the twins in 2006. I believe the twins. Well, she got pregnant with the twin 2006. Sarah Chapman, they got pregnant around the same time. So, yeah, I don't think it's Sarah Chapman. I'd be shocked because Sarah Chapman is still like talking up for him and stuff like that. So I'd be shocked if it's her. I think it's that girl who they were saying was saying she's his girlfriend in 2020. Okay. The purposes included the following: operating a global business and media, entertainment, and lifestyle industries, including, among other things, record labels, recording studio, apparel line, and alcoholic, blah, 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 blah. Pursuing, I don't want to care about that. Like, let's get into stuff we care about. Okay. Enabling, we all know the charges. Among the means and methods of Sean Combs, defendant and other members and associates of the Combs Enterprises conducted and participated in the conduct of the affairs of Combs Enterprises the following: lure female victims into Combs' orbit, often under the pretense of a romantic relationship. Combs then used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims, including but not limited to three female victims, victim one, victim two, victim three, to engage in commercial sex acts. In connection with the commercial sex acts, Combs provided the victims with, among other things, monetary payments, career opportunities, the payment of rent and housing expenses. Now that's definitely Daphne Joy and Cassie. Some of the commercial sex acts involved male commercial sex workers and were referred to by Combs as, among other things, as freak offs. Now, I don't know if Daphne Joy and this other one was included in the freak off. I think only this girl was, Cassie, but we'll see. Freak offs were elaborate and produced sex performances that Combs arranged, directed, masturbated during, and often electronically recorded. In arranging these freak offs, Combs, with the assistance of other members and associates of the Combs Enterprise, transported and caused to be transported commercial sex workers across state lines and internationally. Freak offs occurred regularly, sometimes lasted multiple days, and often involved multiple commercial sex workers. During freak off, Combs distributed a variety of controlled substances to victims, in part of obedient and compliant, sometimes unbeknownst to the victims. Combs kept videos he filmed of victims engaging in sex acts with commercial sex workers. After freak off, Combs and victims typically received IV fluids to recover from the physical exertion and drug use. That's sick. Members and associates of the Combs Enterprises, including high-ranking super. All right, or like y'all keep repeating the same damn thing. Delivering large sums of cash to Combs who paid for commercial sex workers and scheduling the delivery of IV fluids. That's Christina. In or about March 2024, during searches of Combs' residence in Miami, Florida, and Los Angeles, law enforcement seemed various freak-off supplies, including narcotics and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. Other commercial sex acts include only Combs and a female victim. So those other acts only include Combs and female. That's Cassie. All right? That is Cassie. Other commercial sex acts involved only Combs and a female victim. That's victim one. I'd be willing to bet. As with Freakoff, other members and associates of the Combs Enterprises assisted with arrangements for these commercial sex acts, including by arranging travel and accommodation for victims at times. So you can tell right here from this indictment, at least I can tell, you guys can tell me whether I'm reaching or not seeing enough or whatever. It sounds like to me that these three people are going to be the only three victims. Is that a fair assessment? Can y'all still hear me? Number one. Is that a fair assessment? It sounds like to me that these three are going to be the only three, and most of this still is still about Cassie. Because we already know that 9 of the videos are all Cassie. And those videos actually um they wanted to show. They wanted to show though. They said, I like these videos. Milton Milton may be weak, but you always have to remember you're going against the Southern District of New York. Like they go with their reputation. They hate losing because they hate messing up that record. And people be sometimes just be trying to put people behind bars just to do it. So, don't count your chickens before they're hatched, as my grandmother used to say. And they're the type that'll just put him in jail regardless, even though they really didn't think he was guilty, or the jury didn't really think he was guilty, but they'd be like, oh, vote guilty or whatever. So I hope, and I do believe that the case is weak, but you know, I believe the case is weak as well. Mm, but it's still free Diddy. Free Diddy until it's backwards. And what they be saying with Tory Lanez? Free Tory until it's backwards. Like what? Tory free? So let's continue. Like Freak Off, the commercial sex act involving Combs and a female victim were prearranged, sometimes lasted multiple days, were sometimes electronically recorded by Combs and often involved Combs distributing a variety of controlled substance to the victim in part of the keep the victim obedient and compliant. So now the baby oil seems as though it didn't really come into effect until later, until after Cassie, to when he then changed the names to King Knights or something like that. Combs subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse to cause the victim to engage in free calls, that's Cassie as well, and other commercial sex acts. Combs maintained control over his victims through, among things, physical violence, promises of career and financial opportunity. Whenever it says about career, it's Cassie because no one else had a career. Over his victims, though, among other things, physical violence, promises of career and financial opportunities, granting and threatening to withhold financial support, and by other coercive means, including tracking their whereabouts, dictating the victim's appearance, monitoring their medical records, controlling their housing. That is definitely Cassie, and supplying them with controlled substances during and separate from freak offs and other commercial sex acts. Combs, among other things, hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims, that's Cassie, that hold that video, at time by their hair, as we've seen. These assaults often resulted in injuries that took days for to heal. Of course, that was said about Cassie as well in her lawsuit. Um, Members associated with Combs also threatened victims' career livelihoods, including if they resisted engaging in sex after Combs, and at times Combs and male commercial seller Combs believed they could not refuse Combs' demands without risking their financial or job security or without repercussions in the form of physical or emotional abuse. Combs also used the sensitive, embarrassing, and incriminating recordings that he made during free-calls as collateral to ensure the continued obedience of lie. Now that's a lie. If according to Puffy's attorneys, that's a lie because he didn't have, because Cassie has the videos. Members and associates of the Combs enterprise, including Combs security personnel, at times carried firearms. On more than one occasion, Combs himself carried and brandished firearms to intimidate and threaten others, including victims of the witnesses to his abuse. In or about March 2024, during searches of Combs' residence in Miami, Florida, and Los Angeles, California, law enforcement seized firearms and ammunition, including rounds of AR-15s with deepfake serial numbers. Oh, not good, not good. As well as a drum magazine. Members and associates of Combs Enterprises enabled Combs' control over victims by following his directions regarding financial payments to victims, advancing or suppressing the victim's career opportunities, and acquiring the controlled substances Combs used to keep the victims compliant. Members and associates of Combs Enterprise at all times witnessed Combs' violence towards the victims or the victims' injuries caused by Combs without intervening. Instead, members and associates of Combs Enterprise helped conceal the violence and abuse by, among other things, assisting Combs in monitoring and preventing victims from leaving locations such as hotels or Combs' residence. These occasions included instances in which a victim was required to remain in hiding for several days at a time. To recover from the injuries Combs infected with being publicly observed, members and associates of Combs Enterprise also assisted Combs in locating and contacting victims who attempted to flee his abuse. So, okay. When Combs, blah, 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 blah. Okay. When Combs' authority or reputation was threatened by the possibility of negative publicity or legal or law enforcement action against him, including in or about late 2023, following public allegations of Combs' crimes, Combs and members and associates of the enterprise pressured witnesses and victims, including through attempted bribery, to stay silent and not report what they experienced or knew to law enforcement on phone calls. Combs and other members and associates of the enterprise, among other things, provided these victims and witnesses with a false narrative of events and the effect of concealed Combs' crimes. Combs caused these calls to be recorded on at least two occasions. So once everything started coming out, they're saying that he called people, I'm sure, like Dirty Money. I'm sure Young Miami, to tell them. I'm sure he probably called Danny Kane, like, look, don't say nothing. That's when he probably started giving out. I think that's probably when he started giving back all those masses. From at least in 2004, 2024, so on and so, engaged in that. Okay, commercial only. Multiple acts, including kidnapping, chargeable under the following provision of state law. California penal, blah, 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 blah. All that stuff is boring. No one cares. Um, Multiple acts undeniable Title 18 U.S. Code sanctions related to sex trafficking. Multiple indictable under Title 18. multiple offenses, including the possession with intent to distribute on distribution of narcotics and controlled substances, including cocaine, oxycodone, alprazolam, methamphetamine, whatever the hell that is called. I think that's short for like meth or whatever. Bromo 2.5, gamma hydroxide, butyric acid, ketamine, ficillin, and matha, whatever. It was part of the conspiracy that Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, the defendant agreed that that the defendant agreed that a co-conspirator would commit at least two acts of racketeering activity in the conduct of the affairs of Combs' enterprise. Notice a special sentencing factor from at least in or about 2009 up to including 2018 in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere as part of its agreement to participate, applicant Combs, participate, definite. Okay, I'm getting sleepy reading this. I'm going to be totally honest with you. The grand jury further charges from at least in or about 2009 up to including 2018 in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere, Sean Combs, a.k.a. Puff Daddy, a.k.a. Your Mama, blah, 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 blah. The defendant in and affecting interstate and foreign commerce, knowingly recruited, enticed, harbored, transported, provided, obtained, advertised, maintained, patronized, and solicited by any means a person knowing and in reckless disregarded the fact that means of God, this is so wordy. Like, get to the goddamn point. This is so wordy, man. Whew. So look, guys. I'm trying to see if I see anything extra. Victim wants to engage. Okay, what about some of these other victims? A 15-pager. The grand jury further charges count three: transportation to engage in prostitution from at least in about 2009 up to including 2024 in the Southern District of New York. Sean Combs, the defendant, knowingly transported individuals in interstate and foreign commerce with the intent to individuals engaged in prostitution and attempted, aided and abetted, and willfully caused the same to wit. Combs transported, aided and abetted, and willfully caused the transportation of female victims, included not to victim one, victim two, or victim three, and commercial sex workers in interstate and foreign commerce on multiple occasions with the intent to engage in prostitution. As a result of committing the offense alleged, count one of this indictment, Sean Combs, the defendant shall forfeit to the United States person to Title 18, United Code section, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. Okay. So nothing really, man, there's nothing really new here, dude. I'm going to be totally honest with you. This all looks like she just repeated herself over and over again. That's what it seemed like. It seemed like she really just repeated herself over and over again and let people know, yeah, yeah, this isn't supposed to be, this case, it's good, this section, this notion, that motion. Thank you, Florent. They didn't have any charge, just more victims. So they didn't add any more charges, just more victims. So to me, like I said, I have my own opinion on it, but I'm gonna keep quiet on it. I don't want to seem to comes past that I'm like I've been told that I'm pro Diddy and my channel is a pro Diddy channel. I did it. My channel is not a pro nothing channel. It it discusses celebrity news, and I do reaction videos. It's not Diddy's not the only thing I do on my channel. That's the first thing. The second thing is not no pro nothing channel. It's just a channel that don't just go jumping the gun and acting, you know what I mean, and taking everything that everyone else is saying and be like, yeah, yeah, that's what happened. Because I wasn't there, and there's more to this story, right? Puppets of Freemason, he still got a chance. People forgot that. They're all his exes. Yeah, I believe too. They all his exes, and he was figuring at the time they're my exes. So what happens in our private life is in our private life. It's not. He don't think of it as sex trafficking or sex this or sex that. Probably just considered it what was happening in his bedroom. So that's the indictment. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, puppy finished." And like I said, is it a good look? No. Is it the end of the world? Is it the tell all be all? No. I don't believe it is. I don't believe it is. I don't believe that, they see this and like, it's over, you know? Because if they come back and it's no celebrity sex tapes, which I always said I didn't believe it was, there ain't no damn way that none of these celebrities are dumb enough to go get put on video at Puffy's house. There's no way in hell. Mostly all of these celebrities have the same shit in their crib. So I still want to see the evidence. Me too. Um, most of these same celebrities have their own home, their own mansions. I heard Jada and Will got a sex dungeon in the basement. So I seriously doubt that any of them would have been getting dressed up, to go to a party, to go sleep with someone at Diddy's house. Like it just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense to me. I don't know if it makes sense to you, but it just doesn't make sense to me. It never did. It never made sense to me at all. Let's see. I have to take a nap before I cover this stuff, man. So, anyway, guys, what do y'all think, man? People say, "Oh, heaven, you gotta read it. Your boy is done." Like they watch that Tisa tells us she is going to make up more lying on the Diddy. uh, they watch Lionel Diddy case. I hope and pray when this mess is over, Diddy was. I know she does that with Jay Z too. Oh, not a good day for Jay Z. Like nothing's even happening, and every day you come with a video with your stupid behind fans that buy into everything she says. Oh yeah, Diddy's Jay Z's finished after this bad update. Like she hates Jay Z so much. Why? I have no idea. She never even met him. But oh, Jay Z sneak attack. on Alex Busby backfires. What sneak attack? What are you talking about? Jay Z hasn't done anything. Talk about Jay Z sneak attack on John Busby or whatever his name is backfire. It's like, this what are you talking about? What backfire? Like what? Like child. Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy says he goes off on Bad Baby because Bad Baby said that he slept with Alabama Barker. She also said that what's his name? Tiger slept with Alabama Barker, and both of them denied it. Both of them denied it and said that Bad Baby was lying. Right? Oh snap! I know Emily Willis. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hold on, hold on, hold on. I know Emily Willis. Did she die? Adult star Emily Willis suffered severe brain damage. What? And was left permanently disabled after cardiac arrest. Isn't she like 22 or something like that? Cardiac arrest during ketamine addiction treatment at Summit, Malibu. Her family is now suing, alleging negligence, delayed emergency care, and caused oxygen deprivation, leaving her in a semi conscious state. Oh my God. I know Emily Willis. Very pretty, young, nice girl. Like, wow. Sheesh. Man, crazy, man. And then the ASAP Rocky trial, text evidence presented, Rihanna in court. So let's go over to that. I heard that ASAP really got into it today with the lawyer, and then he started approaching ASAP Rocky in the hallway. Like, what? ASAP Rocky is currently on trial for assault with a semi-automatic firearm during the proceedings. Evidence concluding text messages have been presented showing interaction between Rocky and alleged victim Terrence Efron, aka ASAP Relly. Rihanna has appeared in court to support Rocky, adding a layer of public interest to the trial. The defense is focusing on the credibility of Relly's testimony, particularly after revealing messages that challenge his initial claims about the incident. Uh-oh. Rocky might get out of this. Here's the sketch of Riri today. Megan Kunis said Rihanna's wearing a white top in the courtroom for A$AP Rocky's trial. Today, for those wondering, gold hoop earrings. A$AP Rocky's lawyer had A$AP really frustrated just right now on the stand. He was asking about, why are you asking me about my Instagram posts? Some fireworks in the courtroom. This is according to Nancy Dillon. Some fireworks in the courtroom. Tokapina was grilling ASAP Relly. Relly took offense. Judge called a recess. As people filing out, Relly addressed Rocky directly. Judge told him to stop. He's staring at me, Relly complained. Yeah, this ASAP Relly is such a biatch. You can already tell. Oh my God, he's so scary. So scary. Child. Here goes Azalea Banks putting her 2 cents in. Azalea Banks claims that Rihanna was flirting with ASAP Rocky's friend ASAP Relly, which made Rocky jealous. She alleged that Rocky later arranged a meeting with Relly and pulled out a gun over the situation. That is not true. That is absolutely not true. Stop lying, Azalea Banks. She was not, Rihanna was definitely not flirting with ASAP Relly. That is definitely not the truth. And this is what she said. ASAP Relly and Naka literally made Rocky. Rocky is not from Harlem, like he says. So the FNT is that this Rocky corny ass had Rihanna in Harlem trying to show off and made the mistake of inviting Relly's fine chocolate ass over. And of course, Riri was all in his face flirting. I do not believe that one bit because Rihanna has would not leave ASAP's face. And I do not believe that Rihanna would be that disrespectful. You could see those videos back. They're still on. I believe Azalea Banks is full of shit. She just wants to garnish attention. And Rihanna was not flirting with ASAP Relly. Recklessly among almost. Wait, she said, hold on. She's full of it. This chick is a trip, dude. Brother, whatever money makes, this case is missing another count of attempted murder, felony assault, potential affliction of emotional distress. This chick is bugging, yo.
And recklessly almost shot sub ills. I don't give a fuck. Rocky needs to go to jail and pay Relly with whatever money he makes. This case is missing another attempted murder, Elysia, felony assault, illegal possession of a firearm, reckless endangerment, and everything possible.
Oh my God. Here she is looking for attention again. Wow. Severe asthma sent to a spiraling depression. He tried to, what did he say? He tried to medicate him. He says, so talking to is Rocky, put in Harlem, trying to show off and made a mistake of inviting Relly's fine chocolate ass. Of course, Reed was all in his face, flirting and shit. Rocky got jealous, invited him to meet up somewhere, pulled him in for a hug, and then really tried to shoot and kill him. First of all, what you talking about? That took place in
Relly and
California.
Naka literally made
All because
Rocky. Rocky
Rihanna
is
was
not
looking.
from Harlem
Relly
like he
ain't looking
says.
for
So
no
the fucking
payday.
tea on this
He's generally deep in hurt.
is
Oh my God.
Rocky
Shut up.
corny
Shut
ass
up,
had
Azalea Banks.
Rihanna in Harlem trying to show off and made
Who
the mistake
believes
of
that?
inviting really fine
Who
chocolate
believes
ass
that?
over. And of course, Ray was all in his face
You
flirting
trying to shoot your shot at the same
and
time.
shit. Rocky got
Who
jealous,
believes
invited him
that? Put a one in the chat if you
to meet
believe
up
that.
somewhere, pulled him in for a hug, and then
Hold on.
really tried to shoot and kill him.
She's full of it. I'm sorry.
And all because
I don't believe anything Azalea Banks says.
Rihanna was
Cut this
looking.
off.
Riley ain't looking for
Shut up, Twitter. You're messing up. Cut this dumb bitch off. Don't believe it. Sorry. Not gonna believe it. If y'all believe that's what happened, put a one in the chat. If you think that Azalea Banks is full of shit, put a two in the chat. so ridiculous. Let's see, can I see my stream on all of my platforms? Ugh. Can y'all still hear me or what? Like, hello? Am I still streaming? Hold on. Okay. Because it is mighty dead in here. Let me see something here. Hmm. I don't know if my thing is live or not. That's probably what happened. It's not streaming on. I don't think it's streaming on my platforms. Hold on. For whatever reason. Hey, listen, I want to see if I can't see it on my streaming on YouTube. So I don't know what's going on with that. Okay, so let me go to the IE network. So it is streaming on. All right, so it is streaming on there. I don't think it's streaming on Twitter. It usually is, but for some reason it didn't set up right. Okay. Wow. Anyway, I don't believe one bit about what Azalea Banks is talking about. I think Azalea Banks is full of it. And every single time something comes out, with Cardi, with Nicki, she always has something to say. Um, 1 minute she's with Cardi, next minute she's with Nicki, next minute she's with Doja. You can't remember much of anything. So it looks like my boy Jay Nolan commented. So a lot of people are thinking that ASAP really doesn't look very, he doesn't look very formidable. Doesn't make he's not a formidable um witness. Hmm. All right, so I just wanted to update you guys on the indictment. I'll be making a video for the other little things on the lost in airplane. Wow. I can't even fathom what happened on that airplane. Just rest in peace and prayers goes out to the family. I won't even begin to imagine or try to put myself in their shoes And you're talking to somebody who lost four major family members in a matter of 3 years. My mother, my father, my older sister, and my daughter, all in a what 3 to 4 year span. My sister, my mother, and my daughter all within a year. And then my dad 3 years later. So, and even with all that loss, I can't even begin to imagine what it feels like to lose somebody on an airplane crash. An airplane crash that seemed very unsensible, like something that shouldn't be happening, like something that could have been avoided. Like, why is a helicopter crashing into an airplane? Like something silly like that. But uh, I just can't even imagine. And like I said, you're dealing with somebody who's dealt with a lot of loss. I've had a lot of long fight, long days, man. Um, Coming back from that, and I'm still not back. I probably will never be fully recovered from the traumatic experience of watching my best friend, which is my sister, somebody I grew up with. At one point, we sleep in the same room. We had bunk beds, like as close as a brother and sister can be. That was me and my sister. Even after she got older, moved out, went and got her own life, like at least 3 times a week I spoke to my sister. So I can't think of a brother and sister being any closer than I was with my sister. And even after losing her, I could not imagine what these people are going through. So sending prayers out to them. Stuff. Within 6 months, I'm sorry for your loss, Sexy 60. Everybody who's lost people that, you know, super close to them. I don't care whether it's parents, I don't care whether it's a cousin. If you were super close to your cousin, or like your cousin was like your sister or your brother, you know, prayers out goes up to you. It's $ Heaven Hollywood for the Cash App. If anybody wants to donate to the channel, and it'd be much appreciated if you did. I don't get many Cash Apps or many donations, but whenever and if ever it comes through, I appreciate it. Um, this has been another installment of the Heaven Hollywood Experience. I thank y'all for joining me. I really, really, really appreciate it.
Don't you forget about me.